going to struggle to fill the allotted time.
The most dead of rubbers, I think.
Do you remember on last week's episode when I said, I wasn't really sure how excited I was for the last 3 games of the season, and Sunderland had nothing to play for either, so it might be a drab affair.
Yeah, I think you've been proven right.
Yeah. Is that the worst game? Just, objectively?
Of all time?
No, since we started the podcast.
Yeah, it's our first 0-0.
Yeah.
So there's usually at least something to talk about.
Yeah. When we lost 1-0 against Everton, there was a red card and a goal. And just how bad we were was a talking point.
Yeah, whereas this is not really... I mean, it's a bit of a cause for concern, but also a very easily write-offable cause for concern.
Yeah.
Not actual concern.
Yeah.
And then so few incidents in the game. Really nothing. I think it's going to say... It says very, very little about Carrick, this game.
Yeah.
It does say a bit about the players.
Yeah, certain players in particular.
We can go into the players. But in terms of talking points, I agree. It's going to
thin
be
on the ground.
A little scarce.
Yeah.
Anything else? It was the most exciting part of the game for me was I arrived at the place I was going to watch the game with 1 minute to go till kickoff. And then I'd agreed to find a way to watch the game for several different people. And I had to then try and get into... So I was going to my girlfriend's house. I forgot the code for the lockbox for the key. So then I was sort of in the sort of bin shed out the front door on my laptop trying to find a link for the stream whilst also trying to ring her to get the key code. That was very hectic.
Yeah, after all that excitement, adrenaline,
I know.
The game really brought you back down to earth.
What a anticlimax.
But
then I got in and got on watching the match before too long, and needn't have bothered. Should have stayed out in the bins.
Yeah.
I was going to say, should we crack on? But we could just not.
Yeah, we basically have started and covered the game already. So could just
we'll do a break, and then you do the intro, and then we'll see where we're.
And then we'll do the outro.
Yeah.
Right. Hello, welcome back to Red Army Reaction, where our fears that the game against Sunderland might not be the most interesting in the world were somewhat realised.
Well, I wish you were being a. I've got nothing to say.
Should I start again?
No,
we're not going to have anything to say about the game.
It was really boring, and we weren't bad or good in any way, really.
No, we were worse than Sunderland, probably.
Yeah.
But they weren't great.
And I think, you can look at the setup and the coaching and the lack of control and all this, but some of the players on the United team are crap when they can be bothered and couldn't be arsed. And so it just made for such a nothing game.
Yeah. It was a bit of a strange lineup from the start, really. Dallo not playing, which is rare.
Yeah.
Xerxes starting over Sesko. Sesko wasn't even on the bench, was he?
No, because I think he is...
Shin
also,
injury.
it didn't matter, but I think he'd done his shin against Arsenal, and it had been a bit of a... It's not the game to risk people in.
Yeah, him and Dallo were also both at watching Neo and Akon on Wednesday, so I don't know if they...
Okay, well, we don't know if it's related.
No.
We'll give them the benefit of the day.
Yeah, I hope they had a good time. But yeah, so both missing from the squad. So
no Casemiro in the lineup.
No, which is also very rare.
Yeah.
It's the first time he's not started under Carrick. Was it the second league game he's not started all season or something like that?
I think so, yeah. I think he's got 35 league starts.
So it's the first then?
No, we played... That was our 35th game, wasn't it?
No, it was our 36th game. So if he's got 35 league starts,
or
that
possibly,
was the first one.
No, that might have been...
Maybe he's got 35 league appearances.
He can't get to 35 league appearances now because that was the contract, the clause in his contract.
Oh, because did he get a suspension?
Possibly.
No, a few other people have.
But he can't get to 35 league appearances. And the clause in his contract was there would be another year, but they've both waived that anyway.
Yeah.
But he can't get to that number now.
Okay. So he must be on 32 maximum.
Yeah.
Currently.
I think that makes sense.
But it was the first. I'm pretty sure it was the first time he's not started under Carrick, and we did miss him.
Yeah.
Mount is not. That's not where he wants to play, but where he wants to play is where Bruno plays, which is one of the multiple reasons why he never plays.
Yeah.
Xerxes didn't take his opportunity really. He doesn't get many, and we all saw why.
Yeah. There's fundamental issues with them as players that just I don't know how compatible they are with the modern Premier League.
Yeah.
I think Mount is less of a lost cause.
Yeah, Mount. You don't look at Mount and think he's a terrible footballer with no redeeming qualities.
What you said about this. Yeah, I think we're going to go through the squad later, I think, with a view to the summer. But Mount, I think, probably is one to draw a line under and say he's never going to look like the £50 million player that we bought.
No.
He arguably wasn't the £50 million player when we bought him, and he's worse now.
Yeah.
The curse of the number 7 shirt continues.
Yeah, didn't someone... Oh, well, Ronaldo coming back, that wasn't good.
I
feel like someone did all right with the number 7. Oh, Cavani.
Yeah.
Cavani did well with the number 7, and then we decided... We asked him to give it up for Sancho, and he said no.
Yeah.
This is after we'd begged him to sign another year.
Yeah.
We said, can you give it to Sancho? And he said no. And then Ronaldo signed, and we said, you have to give it to Ronaldo. And also, you're not going to play.
Yeah, because we've signed Ronaldo.
Yeah.
Fun times.
That probably does carry on the number 7
as a successful number 7.
No.
Even when he was reasonably good some of the time he played.
Yeah, it wasn't, on the whole, a successful experience.
No. But yeah, just a really, really crap game of football.
Yeah, it doesn't bear much analysis.
I think
you could analyse it in great detail,
yeah.
but I don't know if we should. I don't know if anyone wants to listen to that.
Lamon's best game in terms of shots faced. I think he
played well.
Made a couple of good saves that Onana wouldn't have made.
Yeah. He did everything that was asked of him.
In the league, is it?
His Lamon's? No, it's more than that, isn't it?
We've got a few, we've got a few, but...
We beat Spurs. We've got Spurs, City, Sunderland. Must have beaten someone else to 0.
Yeah, probably. But I don't know who.
No.
And then this one was a 0-0.
Yeah, so maybe it's just 3 which
or 4.
Isn't great, but...
And then maybe we can talk about Cunha. Should have scored at the end.
He should have done. He rushed it. He
really rushed it.
It's probably... Sometimes a striker will get a chance early on in the game, in the opening couple of minutes, and you think he's a bit rusty there. He's not, warmed up properly. He's not.
Yeah.
He's caught a bit cold. It was like that because that was the first chance any of our players had had.
Yeah.
He was rusty in the last minute. He rushed it. He, snatched at it. But it was actually a really good chance.
Yeah. It was our first shot on target.
Our only shot on
the
target,
93rd minute. Yeah, really drab affair.
And then he followed it up by diving.
Yeah, and it was a dive.
It was, yeah. He's no stranger to a dive. He does get fouled a lot, and he is good at winning fouls, but when you do your best to win fouls all the time, sometimes you're going to get it wrong.
The Crystal Palace one was just the other side of this, I think.
Yeah, where he just about managed to buy a foul.
You just about give that one, and you just about don't give this one.
Yeah.
But they're both very tenuous fouls.
And the way he goes about it means there aren't many in the middle.
No.
There's fouls, or he's tried to get fouled and failed, which means it's a dive.
Yeah. It's just part of his character as a player.
And I like his character as a player.
Yeah, we're not saying he needs to reform, and
we didn't sign him for that.
Yeah, I don't like diving, but I sort of have a weird thing about why is it so much worse than all the other types of cheating that players do all the time.
Yeah, why is it worse than being offside?
Yeah, why is it? Or things like the ball that should have been our throw. And they know it shouldn't have been your throw.
And they still ask the referee.
Yeah, they pretend that they didn't touch it.
And you can tell, because if a player knows it's the other team's ball and they ask the referee and he gives it the other way, then they don't protest. And then if they give it the other way and the player is absolutely furious and screaming at the ref, that's when they know it was actually their ball.
For some reason, and this would have been a penalty and 3 points and maybe a red card. And that is obviously worse.
Than a throw-in.
But all diving is seen as the worst cheating a player can possibly do, and sign that a player is scum. And I think it's weird that it has such a reputation.
I mean, is it any worse than fouling the opposition?
I don't know. You're not allowed to kick the opposition. You're also not allowed to pretend you've been kicked by the opposition. But one of those is seen as sort of noble, part of the game, and one of them is seen as villainy.
Yeah, if a tactical foul is necessary at times, and it's what you should do.
Yeah,
but
it's not in the spirit of the game.
Yeah,
it's quite an English thing to it, I think, maybe.
Yeah, but I'm all right with diving. I mean, obviously, it's much harder with VAR. Diving, the art of a good dive. Ashley Young was very good at it. Ronaldo was no stranger to it, but you look very daft if you dive and immediately get called for diving. So
I do think the lines around, and we'll speak about this in another context, the lines around fouls in the box are so weird now. Where you've got some occasions where it's, we got one stood on the ball and the ball didn't really move, but he stood to touch the ball, and then he completely chopped a player from behind, but because he got his one stood on the ball, that's not a foul. And then you get somewhere, he didn't really touch the player, or like the player just sort of runs into him, but because they're looking at it in slow motion and they're only looking at like a second in isolation, they lose all track of what the actual movement of the players is, and just think, when you look at this 1 second in slow motion, that's a foul. So the lines are all over the place at the moment.
Yeah.
But this was a dive.
No, you didn't need VAR for that one.
It was a dive, and back to rights. He got booked for it.
Yeah. Cunha, I was worried he was going to get sent off against Leeds because he dived into a tackle on a yellow card, but thankfully the Leeds player dived, so he gave it the other way. Yeah. But I didn't think that was going to happen.
Yeah. With Lisandro Martinez could have been sent off for punching Brobby in the face.
Yeah, I've not actually seen a replay of that.
It was sort of, he was just sort of wrestling with him, but he lost his rag. The Sunderland player, I can't remember the name of now, could have been sent off for elbowing
punching
Bruno in the face.
It's a proper forearm smash.
It is,
It's a red card, and I don't really know what the logic is.
Well,
it's not his elbow.
It wasn't violent intent, but
what is he trying to do?
There's very little non-violent ways to elbow someone in the head.
Yeah.
Lovingly elbowed me in the side of the head.
Yeah, it's like they treated it like an elbow is a thing.
Yeah.
Like an elbow is a deliberate elbow into the face is a red card, and it wasn't his elbow, so we'll leave it. But that's just the way it usually is, the elbow.
Yes, it is, yeah. So given how we saw some of our squad rotation options in this game and have formed opinions on them, I thought we could go through the squad from this season and talk about who we think should be here next season. And who we think needs an upgrade. Are
we doing an actual start bench sell, or are we just going to actually just have a conversation about each player?
It's up to you.
Well, we've
the
not
way
really...
the way you worded that made you sound like you don't think we should do an actual start.
No, I do a little bit, but we have not done that kind of thing, with blind rankings in combined 11s and that kind of thing. I think that's the right side of it. I think tier lists, they're fine as well.
Yeah.
Because they're just comparing things as well. But I don't think it should just be this player sell, next player
No, we're
sell.
obviously good. We obviously have a constructive discussion.
Yeah, and we will come to one of those conclusions of the three.
So I'll get up a squad list here. Right. Let's start at the top. Number 1, Altay Bayındır.
Isn't that starting at the bottom?
Of what? We'll start at the top of this list here.
Okay.
We're not getting into the... It's not the way we need to do it.
Sorry.
I think he's rubbish and we should sell him.
He is rubbish. We should have a better second choice goalkeeper than him. Someone who we feel confident to play in cup games.
Yeah. There's Radek Vitek has pulled up some trees on loan this season.
Has he been on the loan at Leverkusen?
No, he's at Bristol City.
Oh, yeah.
He won there.
Who am I thinking of? Matej Kovar.
Yeah,
he was on
loan
at Leverkusen.
Leverkusen, and they sold him to someone else.
Yeah.
I'd much rather see a young goalkeeper come
who
through,
looks quite good,
who isn't crap, than an old goalkeeper who is crap.
Yeah.
And I think, Bayındır he's had that game in the FA Cup.
Yeah.
That he was quite good in that game.
Yeah, I'm sure he enjoyed himself. I think he'll probably be more than happy to go. He's been linked with a move back to Turkey.
Yeah.
A goalkeeper, being Man United's number 2 goalkeeper is up there probably with the best jobs in the world.
Yeah.
But as a goalkeeper, a professional athlete who's worked their whole life to get there, you probably don't want to be a backup keeper at that age, you know.
No. Well, we can speak about what is probably an even better job, which is Man United's third choice goalkeeper. We've also got Tom Heaton.
Yeah. I mean, he can stay.
Re-sign him. Why not?
He never plays. He's not supposed to play.
40.
He'll decide to retire at some point. Did Scott Carson, was he 42 when he retired from City?
I think so.
Craig Gordon still playing for Hearts at 42, I think.
Yeah.
So Tom Heaton, that is an even better job. You get less money probably, but you never have to play. Whereas Mendy has to play a couple of games a season.
Yeah. So I think and then I feel the rounding out the goalkeepers, we've got Senna Lamens. I think
we should keep him. Yeah.
Yeah, I think he has proven that he can be the number 1 in the Premier League.
Yeah, which he wasn't. It was obviously there was the whole thing of between him and Martinez being ready-made, and Lamens being sort of competing for the number 1 shirt. It took a couple of months, or maybe a month, for Lamens to start playing every game, and he is ready. He's not like as raw as we might have thought.
No,
he's clearly suitable goalkeeper to be United's number 1, and it will play more games next season. He might have more mistakes in him, but I'm more than happy for us to give him time to become one of the best keepers in the world, which I think we all think he can be.
Yeah, definitely, yeah. And like where we are as a team, you know, if you look at it in terms of priorities, I think he can be the goalkeeper in this team and the better version of this team that we hope to see next season, and hopefully he can grow with the team and keep getting better and better. There may come a time where he can't, but I don't think we're there yet.
No, and we've got enough signings to make without worrying about number 1.
We said before he signed, we don't need to sign the best goalkeeper in the world. We don't even need to sign the goalkeeper who's going to win us the Champions League and the Premier League.
No.
We need to sign a goalkeeper who doesn't throw the ball into the back of his own net.
Yeah, who's capable of saving shots.
And he's proven every penny of the very reasonable asking price that we paid for him.
Yeah, and I think looking back, it was clearly the right decision to sign him and not Emi Martinez.
Yeah, I think so.
3 times the wages, if not more. And
10 years old.
Double the transfer fee.
So we'll keep Heaton, keep Lamens.
I thought we'd start bench sell.
Okay, we'll start Lamens. We won't say bench Heaton.
No.
It's what's the one below the bench, but not sell.
Squad.
Yeah. Him, and then we'll sell Bayern.
Yeah.
That works, yeah.
Probably, we only paid about 3 million quid for him. We'll probably get half that back.
No.
But
it's not this. No. You know, it's playing around in the margins in terms of transfer fees there.
Yeah.
Right back, we have Diogo Dalot and Nus Mazraoui, who are 2 recognised right backs in the squad.
Yeah.
I think I've come round on Dalot now, and I think the people who act like Mazraoui is definitely better, and I think Mazraoui is probably worse at everything.
Yeah.
Dalot isn't an elite right back.
No.
And he isn't one of the best right backs in. This is going to mean the same thing. One of the best right backs in the world.
No. He's not one of the best right backs in the Premier League.
No. He's quite good at some things, and he can play every single game.
Yeah, he's solid.
And he really cares about being a United player.
Yeah.
And that's fine. I think probably there is room for an upgrade on him.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think that's Mazraoui in basically any department.
No, and it's not, again, ultimately we would like a better right back, but it's not a priority. So for now, Dalot is good enough that we're not in dire need of a replacement. Yeah.
I don't think we need I think as a department of the pitch, I think they're probably fine as a 2. But with a view to getting in a top level right back who can push everyone down a spot.
Yeah. And then we probably would sell one of them too.
Yeah, you'd sell Mazraoui, I think.
Although he can play in a couple of other positions, played him at centre back.
Yeah.
That was a clean sheet. Chelsea away.
Oh, true, yeah. 4. Yeah, I don't think it's a pressing concern. I think Dalot is more than good enough to play 40 games for us next season.
Yeah.
And he's always available.
Play the games he can't play.
He does obviously have flaws. Dallo.
Yeah.
He's not good at crossing the ball.
No, he's very bad at it. He's not good at shooting. He's very good at getting into positions to cross the ball and
he
shoot.
loves shooting.
Yeah.
He's just bad at it.
Yeah.
Which is what I would be if I was a Premier League player, I think.
Yeah.
I would love shooting. But I would never score.
Fun. When I was playing Sunday League, I was left back, so it was rare. But if I was ever anywhere near their goal, all I needed was one person to say shoot. If I had 9 other players saying pass, one saying shoot, I would think I could shoot it.
I can blame him.
I very rarely got the chance to shoot. So.
Yeah. You're very much like Dallo in that sense.
Yeah. But he gets a chance to shoot all the time.
Yeah, you'd think he'd get it out of his system by
And
now.
you'd imagine people are specifically saying don't shoot.
Yeah. Me, I always shout don't shoot
Yeah.
from our position in row 18 of the second tier, and it very rarely gets heeded.
No.
But, I will keep banging that drum of almost always it's not the right option.
But sometimes he's in such a good position that he doesn't have an option not to shoot.
Yeah. He's not like he picks up the ball from, he's not like Maguire shooting. Where Maguire,
or Marcus Rojo.
Yeah, they've sort of Maguire's grown out of it. Rojo never grew out of it. I think.
Never grew out of any single behaviour on the pitch.
But they would just be like, oh well, I'm not shot for a couple of games. I'll just have a shoot. Dallo gets into positions where shooting is obviously the right thing to do, and then is bad at it.
Yeah,
which is a
never,
different
never
issue.
gets any better.
No. So I think for next season at least, I'm happy to say start Dallo, bench Mazraoui.
Yeah, I think as our right backs, they're fine for now.
Yeah,
I think basically the conclusion we're
at. And then left back we've got Luke Shaw and Patrick Dorgu and Tyrell Malacia.
I mean, Malacia, I don't think sell is strong enough. I think retire.
Yeah, he's played 5 minutes this season, and they were awful and one of the least enjoyable 5 minutes of the season.
Yeah, he got absolutely
the last
skinned
5 minutes at Newcastle.
by William Asula, ran the wrong way, and we can see the last minute.
He got skinned by Asula twice. He was only on the pitch 5 minutes.
5 minutes too many. He's obviously had a very, very hard time with injuries. He missed an entire season of his career through injury.
His best friend's gone to Barcelona.
Yeah, he's clearly a popular lad in the squad,
Yeah.
But we're not a charity. He's not good at football.
No, and this is one of the downsides to, some people would call it substream scouting, where you look for these bargains and look for cheap players in the market. Sometimes they don't work out. Sometimes they
be
completely
really bad.
stagnate or get much worse, and you've got a bit of a lemon on your books.
Yeah.
But you've got to be able to cut and run, and it's best for all parties that he doesn't stay another year, because it's entirely pointless.
And we had this whole bomb squad thing last year of the 5 players who were completely isolated from the squad. All we were looking to do was sell them. We sold the 4 who were sellable, and Malacia somehow stuck around and managed to get on the pitch in the Premier League. It's a bit like the guy who phoned Southampton asking him to sign him because he's George Weah's cousin and managed to get on the pitch in the Premier League. That's what Malacia's done this season.
Yeah.
He's managed to stick around and no one's noticed that he's terrible at football.
Yeah. Hopefully they draw a line under that project in the summer.
Yeah.
Luke Shaw, I don't think he's got the athleticism to be I think his place in the team is holding us back because he just can't pin the width on that side.
No.
And we want to play Cunha on the wing. Cunha wants to come inside. We just look way too narrow.
Yeah,
with Luke Shaw essentially playing centre half.
I thought against Liverpool, Shaw, we saw a bit of the old Shaw. He was overlapping, particularly for the Mainu goal.
Yeah.
That's what we wanted to see from him. He overlapped, got the ball, put the cross in, and it led to a goal. But we just don't see it nearly as often as we used to, and we would like to.
He may well start 38 league games this season, which is incredible.
Like
this is the first time he's ever started 36 league games this season.
Wow.
Or maybe ever played 36 league games this season.
Probably.
It's both shocking that it's taken this long, but also not really surprising.
Yeah. And it's also shocking that he's done it this season.
Yeah. He's managed to get over the niggles that he's had, and he seems to be capable of playing. And maybe because he's not as using his athleticism as much, that he's not at risk as much, and therefore he's managed to not get any muscle injuries. But I do think it's holding us back having him there. he's been a good-ish servant.
Yeah, he's our longest-serving player.
He's had an odd career.
Yeah, disappointing career, I think.
Massively, yeah.
Because there have been loads of times where he has got back fit and he's just obviously been the best left back in the country again.
Yeah, yeah.
But he's not managed to make it last for very long at a time.
Yeah, and, it's a shame, but I think there is definitely scope to upgrade at left back. Dorgu's an interesting one. We've not seen him play left back.
No, we need to decide what he is, really.
He's played left wing back and he's played right winger and left wing.
Yeah.
And I don't think he's played right wing back. I don't know if did he play right wing back under Amorim?
Maybe at some point.
At some point, yeah. But he's not played left back at all. So I don't think we can say he can be our starting left back next season.
No.
I think
left back is definitely on the list, on the shopping list for the summer.
Yeah. I don't know the market. I don't know who. There's Lewis Hall has been mentioned a couple of times. And if Newcastle do need to write their books a little bit, then not right, like with a W, right as in correct their books, then maybe there's a opportunity there. He's a very good player.
Yeah,
people like him.
Similar mould to Luke Shaw once upon a time.
Yeah, so I'm sure he'll sign and then break his leg and ruin his life.
Yeah.
I don't think we've ruined Luke Shaw's life.
We've derailed his career slightly. And this wasn't our fault. It was
it was
a PSV defender's fault.
Yeah.
Wasn't even given us a foul.
Yeah.
That was one. He won the ball whilst also breaking Luke Shaw's leg.
Ruining Luke Shaw's career.
Yeah.
They should take that into account, the propensity of the likelihood that you've ruined someone's career.
Well, I think they should take into account whether or not you break their leg, which is in turn likely to ruin their career.
Yeah, true. Yeah. So I think we'll say bench Shaw.
Yeah.
Sell Malacia.
Yeah, definitely sell Malacia.
Dorgu, figure out what he is.
Yeah.
That's not one of the options.
I think he probably bench Dorgu. He's a good player. There are things he's good at. We need to decide what role he will have in the squad, but I don't think he's a guaranteed starter.
No, I wouldn't say. Even if you decide he's a left winger, he's not your starting left winger.
No.
If you decide he's a left back, he's not your starting left back.
No.
He's, again, was a reasonable price for a talented player.
Yeah.
And we'll see what he becomes. We don't know yet.
Because the first few games under Carrick, he was genuinely really good at left wing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So he's definitely there were definitely people saying sell after his first few months under Amorim at left wing back. He looked poor.
Yeah.
But clearly he's a talented player, and once we figure out a role for him, I think he'll be a good player to have in the squad.
Yeah. Centre half, we've got Matthijs de Ligt. We just don't know what he's going to be.
No.
He may never play again. He may be absolutely fine.
Yeah. He might have some surgery if that's what he needs, and then it was a one recurring injury that he's now fixed, and he's really good centre back again. It's
a tough one. It's tough for him, obviously.
Yeah, yeah.
I think
was it what, like 6 months since he last played a game?
Yeah. It doesn't say here, but yeah, I think so. And when a player has this severe of an injury, it's often difficult to trust them, and it's often difficult for them to trust their body.
Yeah.
And you see a marked change in how they play. It took Luke Shaw a long time to not think he was going to break his leg again.
Yeah.
So I think it would take a long time of De Ligt being fit for you to think he's a reliable injury-free centre-half.
Yeah.
Just because of the nature of the injury.
And for him to believe that as well.
Yeah. And it's with a lower back injury as a centre-half, you don't want to risk being, breaking your spine.
Yeah. You don't want a centre-half who's afraid to go up for headers in case he gets a nudge in the back.
Yeah, yeah. It's going to be really tricky. And hopefully the medical department and the club can do the best thing for the player and the best thing for not just the next season, the next 2 seasons, but the rest of his career and the rest of his life,
Yeah. If he was a horse, I think I know what the medical department would decide was the best thing for him.
Thankfully, he's not a horse.
Yeah. Would a horse be good at centre back? You get those animal 11s sometimes, of which animal would be best in every position.
Yeah. It's tricky. They're quite fast.
Yeah, good. I think they'd be good heading. We've got huge heads.
Yeah, you'd have to train them. Obviously,
you need a coach.
I don't think a
Probably an
horse
owl.
inherently knows how to play centre half. Yeah,
need a few sessions before you could start.
You can just drop them in there, Yeah, I think they've got the physicality for it. I don't know if they have the discipline, but they have the physicality for it.
Yeah.
They get spooked, too easily. You want a resolute figure in there, someone stoic. You don't really get many stoic horses.
No. Anyway,
so I think he's exempt from the game because we don't know what he is.
Yeah, I mean, United have seemingly brought in this 2-season policy where if it's not working after 2 seasons, you cut your losses and get rid. He's had 2 seasons now. Yeah. His first season, he was inconsistent, but he is obviously a very good centre-back on his day. Yeah. And then this season, you can't really judge him on.
Yeah. I think he has to stay by the virtue that there's absolutely no market for him because he won't have played. Yeah. He has to be, but we have to evaluate where he is after his injury.
Yeah. If he ever gets fit again, he might retire.
He'll be a completely different player when he comes back. Yeah. That's just how it works.
But he is a very good centre-back on his day.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's possible he does get back to that level, and we hope he does. But
yeah. Harry Maguire. One of our favourite players.
Yeah.
I really like Harry Maguire.
Yeah, I like Harry Maguire, yeah. You say that like we love him.
We love Harry Maguire.
I like Harry Maguire, yeah. And he is obviously staying, and I would start him. I think he's proven that he's probably our best centre-back, and I would want him and another in nearly every game next season. Whether or not we sign a centre-back, which I think we probably will, I don't know what level they'll be on. If we'll sign our best centre-back, or if we'll sign our centre-back who's second best after Maguire. But if we're only signing one centre-back, I still think Maguire will be in the starting pair.
Yes, yeah, that makes sense. I think he's another player who he's got a weird public perception of him that I just don't think is true anymore. I think he's almost completely changed as a player in the last couple of seasons. Yeah. He's so much less dodgy.
Yeah.
He's calmed down a lot. He had this awful trait under Solskjaer, which, because we played on the front foot so often, where he would basically abandon the defensive line in order to try and proactively win the ball. And when he did it, we could often score from it or get a really good chance out of it. But players figured it out and were just able to play through us with unbelievable consistency.
Yeah.
Because if you dangle the ball near Maguire for half a second, he will see an opportunity and dart out of the line to get it, and there'll be a huge gap. He doesn't do that anymore. He's much more mature and marshals the line a lot better.
Yeah, because in Solskjaer's first season, he was really good as that player. He was sort of an all-action defender, constantly running out, winning the ball, winning tackles high up, heading every single ball out.
Yeah.
And he has calmed down in his game a bit, but he's still a very good player. He's a better player for it now.
Yes, yeah. I think we're unlikely to sign 2 defenders better than him.
Yeah.
So I think he's absolutely a starter for next season.
Yeah.
Then we've got Lisandro Martinez.
Probably the toughest one of the centre backs to decide.
Yeah, he's really tough. Yeah, he beats people up on that.
Very good.
Yeah,
very good. Yeah.
He'll pull your hair.
And yours.
Oh, yeah, he would, yeah.
If he could reach. Yeah, it's a tough one. He is divisive. When we first signed him, he was a fan favourite. And when he plays well, he is a fan favourite because we've always had this sort of relationship with Argentinian players. And he's lived up to that. He's got the temperament that we like. But he's not... He had that in that very large injury where he was out for a long time. Yeah. And he's not come back as the same player, really, like we were just saying.
Yeah, the aggression's there, but in the wrong places.
Yeah.
Like we saw with the Brobby thing, where he sort of... You want him to be combative with their centre forward.
Yeah.
But then he just loses the track of the player and just tries to swipe and hit him in the head.
Yeah. Which is not what you want.
The Calvert-Lewin one. Again, it should be a classic battle of defender against centre forward. Where they're both vying for the superiority.
Yeah.
But he just loses his rag and is unreliable in his application.
Yeah. Calvert-Lewin did a job on him, wound him up to the point where obviously he didn't headbutt him or lash out at him really, but he did enough to get sent off. So
he's a tough one. I think in my version of United next season, I don't see him as a starter.
Yeah, I don't think we'll sell him. I don't think anyone will be after him particularly. Obviously, if we put him in the market and we offer him out, someone would buy him, but I don't think we'll be looking to sell him.
No, but I wouldn't like to see him start 40 games next season. I just don't. I just think he's limiting as a player. I think his defensive attributes are, when he came, he was so good on the ball and he was good enough defensively to be a net positive to the team, and we looked a lot worse without him.
We did.
I don't think that's true anymore. I think his application on the ball, I don't know if it's gotten much worse, but he's not a difference maker there in the same way. Maybe just the way we build up is just different now. We have more in midfield, so we don't need to play these sort of Hollywood passes from the centre halves as much. So I don't think the benefit is there, and I think the downside of his defensive weaknesses, because while he did make up for it in his first few years, being 5'6" is a weakness for a centre half in the Premier League.
It's an attribute which he's lacking.
Yeah, he's not particularly quick, and like we say, his aggression is often misplaced. So I think he is a net negative to the team too often to be a starter.
When Carrick came in, it was him and Maguire started the first few games, and especially with De Ligt being injured for so long, it has sort of felt like when they're fit, it's him and Maguire. Yeah. When they're not suspended, it's him and Maguire. But I don't think that's the case anymore. No. I think it's Maguire and one of our other centre-backs. Yeah.
Speaking of, we've got Aidan Heaven and Lenny Yoro.
Aidan Heaven was one of the... Well, no, if it was keep or sell, he'd be one of the easiest in the squad.
Yeah.
No one's selling Aidan Heaven.
No.
He's a brilliant young defender. And similar to Lamans, I think we all believe that he can become a top-level defender.
Yeah, which I didn't think... I think him and Yoro, you can sort of swap the profiles of in terms of United fans.
Yeah.
I think we've seen a player come in for a big fee who is a sort of, top of the market young centre-half. And we've seen a player come in who was sort of a risky pickup from another academy.
Yeah.
And if you look at them now, Aidan Heaven is the one who everyone thinks has all the top attributes and the application to go right to the top, and Lenny Yoro's sort of stagnated a little bit in the last, certainly this season, and as has done for a lot of players, we just don't play enough games to see him often enough.
Yeah.
But when we do see him, we haven't seen much development. We don't see much on the ball from him. Similar sort of mistakes throughout his time at United.
Yeah, he's had a couple of games this season where he's made a couple of mistakes where he's just not looked right, and it seemed to really affect him. That it was sort of a self-fulfilling prophecy that he played bad and that made him play worse. Which is not something you want. You want him to be able to bring himself out of that bad period. But he is only young, so it makes sense. Yeah. I don't think we're saying sell him, but we probably expected him to have a more steady progression from when he came in.
And, if there's... I'm reluctant to say loan him out because we're awful at loaning people out, and it usually is the end when you loan someone out.
It's rare that we loan them out. They do really well and then come into the team.
Dallo wasn't great when he went out on loan. He sort of came back and they were like, well, I guess if you're still here, we'll play you. And then he's gotten better at the club.
Yeah.
Which is it's a lot easier to control a player getting better at the club.
Yeah.
However, they have to play. And I don't know if we'll see him play if he stays at the club. I think the model of centre-half development is Arsenal. If you look at them, they've got the two best young centre-halves, and they've had different paths. And Gabriel was signed young and brought in and nurtured through their team and was a raw talent that they had. Saliba played 3 senior seasons abroad.
They learn about 3 times,
and it was sort of like, maybe, are Lyon going to sign him permanently because Arsenal don't seem to want him? But he reached some threshold where they were like, right, he's going to be
ready now, and he's been really good for them.
Yeah, and they're the model that everyone's envious of. I think they've got the best 2 centre halves in the world, or the best pair of centre halves going for a very reasonable fee, and we could achieve something similar here.
Yeah,
but we have to get the development right, and Heaven, I think it's going very well. He's
playing a good amount of games.
Started. He's playing regularly enough for a player of his profile, and Yoro's the one that we need to. We can't just let slide away into nothingness. We don't want him to be Lindelof, who Lindelof had a good career at United, but he could have been a top level centre half and just sort of was for ages.
His weaknesses were never addressed really. He just stayed at a similar level. We've got Maguire, De Ligt, Martinez, Heaven, Yoro. Is that all of
Fredrickson?
For now, there's 5 senior centre backs there.
Yeah,
we're probably going to sign a centre back.
We probably are.
We've not said sell for any of them 5.
Yeah,
but we've definitely had too many centre backs for 40 games this season.
Yeah,
we're hopefully going to play closer to 60 next season. Have we got too many centre backs? Do we need to sell one if we're going to bring another one in, or would you just keep those 5?
I think you have to assess the De Ligt situation. I think he could basically be a sell if he's not going to play until Christmas. I don't think that's half a season where he doesn't count. I think maybe you see what the market is for Martinez and Yoro. I don't think we can make a profit on Yoro.
No,
and I don't think they'd be willing to take a hit on him, because why would you? He's got
it's too early for that.
If there's someone who would give you 30 million for Martinez, and you can then sign a 60 million pound centre half, I think they would consider that. But I don't think it's top priority. We'll come on to what I think is top priority in a second.
Yeah.
So I think they'll probably divert their attentions to elsewhere and think we'll probably be fine with these 5.
But if the right market opportunity
comes up, we'll make a move for it.
Yeah, and again, like you said, it depends on De Ligt.
Yeah. Should we move on to centre mid?
Yes, very important area for the squad this season.
So, Casemiro leaving.
Yeah, but we've said before we think it's the right decision for him to go.
I think the odds of him being half as important next season as he has been this season are slim. I think he would be a year older. I think tactically he is limiting, and he's way too expensive.
Yeah, I do think there's some in the fact that we're going to be in the Champions League. A lot of players who haven't played much in the Champions League, certainly not had any success in the Champions League.
Yeah,
if they've only played there for United. Casemiro's he's won it 5 times. He's literally up there with the most successful players in Champions League history. That experience could be useful, but if we can't reach an agreement on wages for a reduced role in the squad, then it's not feasible.
I think this one is quite possibly the most. Well, there's 2 here. Probably the most easiest in terms of what box you put them in. I think Kobbie Mainoo
start.
Yeah, Manuel Ugarte
sell.
Yeah. I think you'd struggle to find any United fan who doesn't agree with you.
Yeah, on
those 2.
I think there'd be some who wouldn't start Mainoo as a guarantee.
Yeah, possibly.
But everyone wants to sell Ugarte. Again, we don't like criticising their players. We certainly would never abuse a United player on social media or on here.
Yeah.
But Ugarte is he's just looks terrible when he plays.
Yeah.
We've won 1 game that he started this season, and we weren't very good in that game.
Was that Newcastle at home?
Yeah.
Yeah, we got battered. Yeah.
Yeah. Every time he's on the starting lineup, you just feel less confident. And then when you watch him play, it's very obvious why.
Justified, yeah. He's the wrong profile of player for both Amorim's system and Carrick's system.
I don't know what system he's the right profile of player for.
No, I don't.
Probably not a side that wants to be competing at the top of the league.
Yeah. I mean, but he won the league in Portugal under Amorim, but he as a younger player.
But Amorim won the league in Portugal.
Oh yeah, so clearly, I don't think he's a Premier League capable midfielder, and that's not that's quite a high bar, but it's certainly a bar that you have to meet. You have to meet if you want to play for United.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we're probably gonna take a bit of the loss on him.
Yeah, what did we spend? About 50 million.
Yeah, and there's some funny business with George Mendes and getting Euro at the same time.
Right.
Apparently, they were more of a package deal than you would anticipate. And that was one of the sweeteners to make him not go to Madrid. We'll sign this other player for
as well.
So I think they can probably get a good fee for him. Not half what they paid for, maybe half what they paid for him. Not any more than that. But we're not in the position where we keep these players in the squad for 10 years.
No.
We shouldn't be that club anymore.
No, and I don't think we are. Like I say, that's 2 seasons for Garte as well. 2 bad seasons.
Yeah.
Cut your losses.
Yeah.
Quite literally in this case.
Yes. Kobbie Mainoo.
Yeah.
Build the team around him.
Yeah, absolutely.
He does things that if he played for any other club, we would be bidding 100 million for him this summer.
Yeah.
He's absolutely...
And we wouldn't be the only ones.
Yeah. It's an absolute travesty that he almost was allowed to leave.
Yeah, and that he missed half a season of his career.
Yeah. And let's hope that is quickly moved on from and forgotten. And, he's re-signed now. That was the big thing hanging over him, was his contract was not commensurate with who he was as a player.
Yeah. No,
it's been redressed.
Yeah. He's started a final for England at 18.
And we expect him to go to the World Cup.
Yeah, I think I'm pretty confident that he will, unless he gets an injury. We're probably going to sign one midfielder who's a guaranteed starter, and then it'll probably be, especially with Casemiro and Agati leaving, everyone expects us to sign at least 2 midfielders.
Yeah.
But it wouldn't surprise me to see Kobbie Mainoo still starting every week.
No. And midfield is such a profile, specific position. All centre halves have roughly the same job to do. Some of them are more progressive on the ball.
Yeah.
Some of them are, but they've all got very similar skill sets. Centre midfield is it's a microcosm. There's 30 different types of centre midfielder.
Yeah.
Kobbie is a very specific type that we don't see very often. It's sort of he's really good in small spaces. I don't want to make too grand comparisons, but similar to an Iniesta of sort of the way he manipulates the ball and the way he can drive past players with the ball.
Yeah.
The job he's been asked to do this season is more limiting than that, just because he has to babysit Casemiro, because Casemiro wanders off and also tries to score and is very successful at scoring.
He is, yeah.
But scores open play goals more and more often than a defensive midfielder should.
Yeah.
So Kobbie Mainoo's been asked to do a different job this season. I think one of the key things you would do in the market is, and this is a testament to Kobbie as a player, is that no one's looked at him this season, second half of the season, and thought we need to unlock him as we have with other midfielders in the past, because he's just adapted to do a different job and he's done it without complaining and has still shown his best attributes whilst doing it. But I do think there is an opportunity there to get in a player who can unlock him and can allow him to play his best football much higher up the pitch and be much more impactful in terms of the results of games.
Yeah.
One goal for him this season, it's not what we wanted. I mean, it's what halfway through the season we're crying out for it.
Yeah, one start would have been all.
But in terms of progression, he's not scored as many as he did in his first couple of seasons in the team.
Yeah.
Hopefully, we can see him a lot closer to the goal, and the sorts of names that we're being linked with are those sorts of midfielders.
Yeah, who would go alongside Mainoo and not keep catching up with him.
Yeah.
Like Casemiro does.
So I'm hopeful that he can have a very long and prosperous career here.
Yes.
And, we might come to this in the forward line, but there should always be a young United lad, Manchester lad in the team. And I hope his career involves him winning the league at Man United.
Yeah.
which
we can dream.
We can but dream.
If it's not going to be me,
Yeah, I would rather, I'd like it to be someone. Mason Mount.
I think you're definitely
I think
leaning towards so.
Yeah, I think there's a perfect fairy tale story here where he goes to Coventry and with Frank Lampard, and he becomes a good enough version of himself to have a good career.
Yeah,
he may set his sights higher than that, and think he can play
would.
In sort of Europa League football. I don't think he's a.
I think he sets his sights on staying at United.
Probably. I don't think he's reliable enough or impactful enough in Premier League games anymore.
No.
I don't know if he's changed or the Premier League's changed, or probably both.
Both.
To use a cliche, but I just don't see a way that he is a success at Man United.
Yeah, because he obviously was for a while a very good player at Chelsea, won the Champions League, regular starter for England, but there were always people who wondered what he actually did.
Yeah.
Managers have always liked him.
Yeah.
But there's also always been a question about him of whether he does enough on the pitch.
Mm-hmm.
Supposedly he's very good off the ball, but he's not done enough on the ball or off the ball for United. I don't think we will sell him, to be honest.
I don't think the market's there for him. I think we'd need 35 million, and I don't think anyone will pay that.
Yeah. And to be honest, I think he's been poor for United. He's been a bad signing. We chased him all summer, paid over the odds for him, and then didn't play him, which didn't make a lot of sense. His best position is a role where Fernandes plays every game.
Yeah.
But I do like him, and I really want him to be a success at United. Not just, but mainly because he really annoyed a lot of Chelsea fans
when he left,
with the nature of his departure. Some of them thought that Chelsea should have done more to keep him, but then the way he behaved when he got to United and acted like this was his dream move and his home and what his career had been building up to, I think annoyed a lot of Chelsea fans. I don't want them to be right when they were saying, good riddance.
Yes. Yeah.
But so far, it's not been a great signing.
No. I think, I don't think he will leave. Well, I don't see a world in which he starts any number of games.
No, he never has. He's never had a run in the team, really.
And even if Fernandes got injured, you'd play Cunha. And if Cunha got injured, you'd probably play Ahmad. And, he's a long way away from that position.
Yeah.
In terms of the pecking order.
Yeah. And his best period at United probably was in the Europa League, where he scored 2 in the semi-final, and then it became, we've got to start Mount in the final. And then he started in the final, and he was crap. He was crap. Everyone was crap in that final, but he was the same as he was every week.
Yeah. Speaking of Bruno Fernandes.
Start.
Yeah, I think there's been a lot said about him this week, having won the FWA Player of the Year.
Deservedly.
A lot of which is nonsense.
Guff.
How can you pick Fernandes when Declan Rice will have won more games than Fernandes has played? It's
irrelevant.
Yeah.
That's in all competitions.
If Fernandes had played 12 games, then that would make sense that he hasn't played enough. He will play every Premier League game, basically.
Yeah, and this is the Premier League award. It doesn't matter what they do in other competitions.
Not the FWA is. I don't think the FWA
is the Premier League.
I think it's just the season.
English football player of the season.
I think so. But even said, I think being the most important player by miles for the third best team is comparable to being one of the most important players
for the best team.
But I think in some people's heads, Arsenal are much, much better than United, and therefore being Arsenal's best player is much, much more impressive than being United's best player, which I don't think is true. I think Arsenal are a reasonable bit better than United.
Yeah.
But I don't think Rice is head and shoulders, he's not Roy Keane. He's not that central midfield figure who wins games on his own.
Yeah.
So I think it's fine that Fernandes won. I think it would have been fine if Rice had won, probably. I think.
Yeah, I think we would have said, why is it not Fernandes? But we wouldn't have been as annoyed about it. We wouldn't have said it's a disgraceful decision or anything like that.
Yeah, Fernandes has had maybe not even his best season. As there was one piece that said Fernandes is deserving of the award, but it's more a sign of how there aren't any other good players rather than the fact that he's really good. I think he is really good, but I do think there was probably his under Ollie. He had 18 games in a league season where he scored and assisted or something insane. He was incredible. This version of Fernandes is slightly different. He's not shooting anywhere near as much. No. He's getting a lot more crosses in, and he's very good at that as well. I think most sensible United fans think he's amazing and love him, and that's where it should be.
We were close to selling him last season, and there have been times this season where I've been sure that we were just going to sell him in the summer, but no, I don't think that's the case. I think we will keep him, and he will continue to be a very important part of our team.
Yeah, I think they've probably done right by him in allowing him to ultimately make the decision.
Yeah,
I don't think they've ever said we want to sell you. I think they would have made it work, but all this talk of 120 million, 130 million, but 130 million quid doesn't score any goals, or doesn't
it doesn't. There's no amount of money where you can guarantee a player with Fernandes' output.
Absolutely not. Even if you sign who's the second best number 10 in the league,
Odegaard,
Cole Palmer, even if you sign one of these players, you're probably not paying that much less than you get for Fernandes, and they're probably not going to be as good.
Yeah.
Sometimes the bird in the hand is Fernandes.
Worth two in the bush.
Right, forwards. We've got Mateusz Cunha.
More of a left forward for me.
Good stuff. Brian Mbeumo, Ahmad, Joshua Zirkzee, and Benjamin Sesko. There's also Lacey and Obi, who have been in squads this season.
Rashford.
And Marcus Rashford, who is the only... I think all of the other loanees are just...
Yeah, Højlund's not coming back.
Yeah. Cunha, he's really grown into the season, I think.
Yeah.
He's grown into the shirt. He is obviously very good.
Yeah.
Which is... we often have good players who don't grow into the shirt and don't never arrive at United.
And they're obviously a very good player, but they don't play like it.
Yeah, I think he's been really good, and there was worry that he was going to be a big fish in a small pond and then come to United and sort of fade into the background. But I think he's grown this season.
Yeah, he's stepped up.
Hopefully he continues to grow and can have more and more impact next season in bigger and better competitions.
Yeah, I think he's one of the best signings we've made in a long time. I think he absolutely suits playing for United. He clearly relishes playing for United, and I think he can carry on at the level he's at in the Champions League. I think he's born to play in the Champions League, really.
Yeah, I think Cunha, there are some players who the structure of the Champions League and the nature of the opposition really benefits and allows them to play with more freedom. And Cunha, while he's been really good in the Premier League, there are games where he goes missing a little bit, and sometimes there just isn't the space for him to work from, and the opposition is too organised and too good at blocking, and he just sort of gets frustrated.
Yeah,
that doesn't really happen in the Champions League. There's such a variety of teams, and they're from such a different level physicality-wise that I think players like him can always find space and can really flourish.
Yeah, it's been a successful first season from Cunha.
Yeah. Obviously, we signed him because he had 15 league goals last season. He's not got he won't hit that number this season.
Yeah,
but he might hit 10, and that's he's no longer the main player.
Yeah,
but I think that's a fine.
Yeah, I think we would have taken that. Hopefully, he can continue to grow and step up as United. Hopefully, get better. He can get better with us.
Yeah, Brian Mbeumo.
Yeah,
similar story,
similar position. We didn't decide on. Are we saying start for Cunha then?
Oh yeah, I forgot that format.
This was my point at the start.
Yeah, we've sort of done it half and half.
Yeah.
A lot of the talk has been we need to sign a proper out-and-out left winger.
Yeah.
We don't really have out-and-out wingers.
No.
Given the sort of direction the squad building was going in. I don't think some people will use that to say the squad building was bad and that we had no forward planning and we built too strongly around Amarim's system when it clearly wasn't going to be a long-term thing. I don't think that's necessarily the case. I think there's room in the squad for all of the forwards we signed. We didn't sign 6 number 10s.
Yeah.
We signed versatile forwards who can play in a number of positions.
And with Premier League experience, most of them.
Yeah. I think there is probably a room in the squad for an upgrade at left wing. As a proper left winger who hold the width and can drive to the line and can not encroach Bruno's space as much. Again, I wouldn't make it a priority, but it's probably similar priority to left back, where I think it could be a step change in terms of how dominant we are able to be and how just the ceiling of the team. I think there aren't as many. I think midfield is the position we need to sign in order to raise the floor of the team, and to allow us to build a better platform. If we want to raise the ceiling of the team, I think explosive, dynamic left winger could be one of the positions we do that in.
Yeah. But Mbeumo, if we do sign that left winger, is Mbeumo on the bench?
Mbeumo's a tricky one. It's difficult to evaluate him. He's been in poor form for a good few weeks now. He's not scored since February, maybe. I don't think that's right.
He scored against Arsenal away. That was sort of towards the end of January.
Yeah.
I don't know if he scored since
He's
then.
not scored for a while. He's had a good season on the whole, I think.
Yeah, I think we definitely should be happy with his first season.
Again, another player that I'd like to step up another level with more games and more responsibility next season. But in terms of position in the squad, I just think, well, we'll come on to Ahmad in a second. I don't see either of them as an elite starting right winger.
No.
But with a player on the left holding more width than a player on the right coming inside may work better.
Yeah.
One or both of them ideally needs to find some form.
Yeah, we need one
season.
of them to be in form at a time.
So I would say I'd probably at the moment give the right wing berth to Mbeumo as a starter, Ahmad on the bench.
Yeah. But what? So
we'll come to Ahmad in a second.
But Cunha's on the left. So where's this new left winger going?
Oh, I think. Well, I said I think there's room to upgrade Cunha as a starter. In which case I would bench Cunha, and he can play in a number of forward positions and in a number of different ways. So I don't think he would struggle for game time as a bench player. But I think the best version of this team doesn't have him as a starting left winger.
Also, the slight flaw in this format is there's enough games. You don't have to start your best team in every game,
No. I think, you obviously you wouldn't have this many players on the bench.
Yeah, big bench.
You do often get close to it with
9 players on the bench these days.
Right wing, I think, we probably don't sign a right winger.
No,
with the 2 that we have, unless some noises being made around Ahmad's ceiling as a player and his development as a player.
Yeah,
he has sort of stagnated. He hasn't pushed on a lot in this season. He was probably better at right wing back, just because of the nature of player he is.
Yeah, and he wasn't great there.
No, but his numbers were a lot better.
Yeah,
he likes to start out wide and drive at players, and playing at right winger with a player outside him, he just isn't doing that very much. His shooting has dropped off a cliff, and he doesn't shoot anywhere near as often or as well. So maybe there's an opportunity to sell Ahmad if the right bid is there. I think the complexity of the market is going to be such that we probably just call right winger a lock for another year.
And I don't want us. This is probably not the kind of decision they should make, but I don't want us to give up on Ahmad yet.
No, I don't think so. He's 23. He's not the done deal. Some players don't hit their peak. Some forwards don't work it out until, where was Obama wasn't playing Premier League at 23.
Yeah.
He may need a couple more years to fully flesh out who he is as a forward, and that's fine. I think with the forwards we have, he's played a lot this season, Ahmad, and we haven't struggled to score goals or win games.
No.
So I think there is space in the squad for him still, and I would look at left wing more as a upgrade because we've only got one proper left winger.
Yeah.
And even he's not. Some people would say not a proper left winger. We've only got one player who regularly starts there, whereas on the right, I think those two are. And
between them, though.
Yeah, and Burma will play some games at centre forward, and Ahmad will play more than enough, but I think he would be behind Burma for me.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And then Big Ben.
Yeah.
Up front.
Well, definitely not sell.
No.
Again, it depends on who we sign and who we sell. Not to spoil what our position is going to be on Xerxes, but
we're not.
I think Sesko should start plenty of games.
Yeah.
Next season, he's played in the Champions League before. He's had he's similar numbers to Cunha and Mbeumo for his first season, but for him it's his first season in the Premier League as well.
Yeah.
Took him a long time to get going and scoring regularly, but now he is scoring regularly. We're happy with him now, and I don't think anyone wants us to get rid.
No,
but we don't want him to be the only striker, so to speak, who's capable of scoring goals.
Yeah, it's an odd situation that we found ourselves in where we sort of had to sell Højlund in order to get Šeško. I think that was the right decision.
Yeah.
They sort of looked at some other cheaper centre-forward options, but there just wasn't room in the budget to do it.
Yeah. We also looked at Ollie Watkins, who would have been a similarly expensive, higher wages, older.
Yeah, and may well have scored more goals this season. I don't think he has scored more goals this season.
I think he probably has in the league.
Maybe.
But it's close.
Yeah, he went a good stint without getting any.
Yeah.
So I think Šeško is, you would hope, not the only centre forward. I think it's probably fair to let them find their partnership or their work share.
Yeah.
Depending on who it is. If it's Danny Welbeck, I think we'd see Šeško starting most games. If it's Junior Krupi, I think we'd see them share the load more evenly.
Yeah. Or because I have thought about Krupi as the left winger option. So then with Cunha and Mbeumo as well, also capable of playing out wide or up front.
Yeah.
There will be plenty of opportunities to rotate and play different positions.
Yeah. So I think I'll say Šeško start for now, but there is room to supplant him with. Well, I wouldn't want us to. We're not going to spend 80 million on another centre forward.
No,
I think
that's not going to happen.
Yeah, it's unreasonable. So I think, but Krupi's not going to be cheap. But he's not going to be. He's only on one.
He's going to be cheaper than Sesko, probably.
Probably. So I've not. This is the first time I've ever thought about signing Krupi.
Yes, now it seems like that's top of the agenda.
So I think Šeško will probably be starting a good chunk of games next season as a starter.
Okay, and then Krupi?
Zerky, as the commentator on Saturday kept calling him.
Oh, really?
I know that's not his name.
No.
His name's Xerxes.
Who was commentating?
Can't remember.
Did you go over to America to watch the game?
China.
Oh, okay.
Hong Kong it was.
Oh, nice. But it's probably the Premier League World Feed.
Yeah, it was, yeah. Yeah, he's crap.
Yeah, sell him.
He's really slow.
Sorry, Josh.
He's really slow. He doesn't have any intensity.
No, it's you said on Saturday some of the players aren't very good. Some of them look like they couldn't be asked. Xerxes both, and if he can't be asked, you're really in trouble there.
I know we've been recording a while, but I said that an hour ago, not on Saturday.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah, he's just. I don't know. I think Šeško lacks intensity sometimes, and Šeško makes Xerxes look like he's asleep. Like he's just. He doesn't. What has he got? 3 goals in 80 appearances or something?
No, he scored. I think he scored 1 league goal this season,
and 2 last season,
and 3 last season.
Okay, 4 goals in.
Yeah, I thought that I might be able to think of more, and he scored a couple in the Europa League.
Yeah, He doesn't play very often.
It's not a good return. He doesn't score very often. He was an interesting signing to make as a sort of attacking option. There've been times there are United players who we've had where you can't see anything that they're good at.
Yeah.
Whereas Xerxes, there are times where you notice things that he's good at.
Yeah.
That he has been good at certain things in his time at United.
He isn't good at scoring goals.
No, he's terrible at that.
There are some chances that have fallen to him that he's just, I can't remember what game it was now. Last season where he had like 3 chances and that just loads of them just sort of dribbled off him, or he would just like slide. Was it Southampton last season where he like slid in for one and then sort of didn't get it any closer to the goal, but did kick
I do remember that. Yeah, that was a bad one.
Was that one at Brighton that hit him and went in and then it was disallowed because he was offside?
Oh yeah, he sort of slid it in on the line.
Yeah. He's just, he's not very good. He wasn't very expensive. He was also signed 2 seasons ago, but also 2 managers ago.
Yeah.
No, 3 seasons ago. He was signed for Ten Hag.
But that was 2 seasons ago, wasn't it?
Yeah. That's I was right the first time.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was signed for Ten Hag, but sort of in the last days of Ten Hag, the first days of Wilcox and Ineos.
Yeah.
Where there wasn't much joined up thinking. Ashworth was there some of the time he wasn't there. So he sort of slipped through the net, and it wasn't a dreadfully expensive signing, and he might have been an interesting option to have.
Yeah.
And he's just not very good.
Been an interesting option. He's not good at scoring goals, and he's not good enough at anything else to play in any other position.
No.
He's got
a really big forehead.
Yeah.
And he's rubbish at heading.
Rubbish at headers. Scored a good header against Leon last season.
Yeah.
Away. But this is true of basically all of our players. It's sort of redundant, but I really like him.
Yeah.
I think he's really cool, and everyone in the squad seems to really like him and respect him.
He didn't deserve to be booed off that time that he got booed off.
That was everyone deserves to be booed that game, but he was taken off after half an hour, so he got booed. But he did no player deserves to be booed like that. Even though he was really bad.
Yeah. But it's time to if he's in the squad next season, I would be very surprised. I think one of the things we've said United need to improve at is getting better at selling players.
Yeah.
I think they are better at it. They managed to get deals for players who were not very attractive last summer.
Yeah.
I think basically the old regime had a view of there is a value by which it's not below which it's not worth selling a player.
Yeah.
And this regime's idea is that there is an intangible benefit to not keeping and paying players that are too bad to play.
Yeah.
And that is worth making that barrier lower. Yeah. And so they've just thought, I think they'll sell him for basically any fee they can get.
Yeah. Edward would probably give him a new contract this summer.
Yeah.
To protect his value. But
he might. If he'd scored 1 goal recently, then they could have used that as an excuse. He hasn't scored in ages.
He scored in December at Palace away.
Yeah, and anyone could have scored. I mean, it was a good finish.
No, it was a good goal.
Chested
it down and fired it in. But not enough on its own.
Since.
No.
There's another forward that isn't on this list. That hasn't played for United this season, but was in the news yesterday for winning La Liga.
Yes.
With a delightful free kick. Is Marcus Rashford.
Yeah. Maybe we still employ.
Yeah. Barcelona are, despite loads of people coming to watch them and them winning loads of games and trophies and being massively famous, are serially broke.
Yeah.
Mainly because they made a lot of very dodgy financial decisions a few years ago when they were properly broke.
Yeah.
And now they just can't really generate any money. They're still paying off the stadium. They may not trigger their option to sign him.
I think they won't trigger their option. I think they might buy him, but they won't trigger their option.
If you wanted, I think the finances are the only thing that would stop you from trying to reintegrate him, I think.
not his attitude. He doesn't want to play for United.
Well, no, I don't.
And he doesn't. Yeah. He's had a good season at Barcelona numbers wise, but he's not been one of their best players.
No,
he's been a decent squad player.
I think that in order to sign a left winger who is better than him, we'll have to pay a lot of money. We would have to pay a lot of money to keep him because he's on a very high wage. Yeah. He's on like £17 million a year or something. But I think the attitude thing, the not wanting to play for United thing, comes down to convincing the player to play.
Yeah,
I think he'd much rather play for Carrick than
Amorim. Yeah,
as would basically every player in the world.
But I think he'd much rather play for Barcelona.
I do. I think it's a unlikely solution. If he may decide that I'm not playing for United next season no matter what, in which case he may go out on another loan.
Yeah.
He may go somewhere else.
I think he will, if Barcelona decide not to trigger their option and there's no deal, there's no agreement that can be reached, I think he'll have other suitors. He might not want to go there, so he might, I don't know what he might do. We might end up loaning him to Barcelona again.
Yeah. I just think there is a very narrow path for him to return to the squad.
Yeah.
And I love him. And I would like to see him do that. Yeah. I don't want him to come back if it's not what he wants. I don't want him to be forced to be in the squad.
Yeah.
I think if he would rather play anywhere else, then that's fair enough. I think he's had a rough ride at United.
Yeah.
He's not been blameless. I think some of his attitude in the last couple of years, some of his decisions, shall we say, haven't been professional.
Yeah.
I do also think that he gets a lot of stick for things that other players don't get stick for. And a lot of the options that people look to bring in instead are not better than him. They just don't get seen as much.
Yeah, they've not played in the Premier League.
Yeah, like Leao, who is often cited as a gettable left wing option. Yeah, has like 6 league goals this season. He doesn't do very much a lot of the time.
Yeah,
even a player like Kvaratskhelia is really good and can play at a very elite level.
Unbelievable player.
But if Rashford had the league season he had, where he got like 6 league goals again, he would get so much abuse that people wouldn't care that he scored a winner in the Champions League semi-final. People would hate him for how many chances he'd missed in the league. Yeah, he's just gets so much stick, and I can see why he wouldn't want to come back into this environment.
Yeah, and I think he doesn't want to come back, and I don't think he will play for United again. And I'm okay with that. I think I'm happier with that than you are.
I'm okay with that. And if he wants to stay at Barcelona and win La Liga, win. I would have loved to see him win the Champions League. I loved seeing him win La Liga last night. Even last night is, we don't usually talk about non-English football.
No.
Have you seen the goal?
I've seen Rashford's free kick. Yeah.
Even talking about it afterwards, he said, "I was probably going to cross it." And then he looked to pass it short, and then someone shouted that he should probably shoot, and then he scored one of the best free kicks of the season, because that's the sort of player that he is. He's just sort of he often doesn't know how good he is. And it's a shame how his United career has gone.
It is.
But I do think for the best it's probably done.
Yeah.
United career.
Yeah.
But
we wish him well, which a lot of United fans probably do.
No. But, he's from Wythenshawe, and he played for Man United and, lived the dream.
He did.
How can you begrudge anyone that?
Exactly.
Well, that's the list.
And then, there's the manager.
As I said in a text to our erstwhile uncle on Saturday, my thoughts are, given the state of the managerial landscape, there aren't any managers who are definitely available and are definitely better. So I think you just keep him.
Yeah, I think he's similar to a couple of players we've been through where it's not a priority this season. We should keep him for now. There might come a time where we need an upgrade on him. Yeah. But for now, he's doing a good job, and there are other things we should focus on.
Yeah. I think there is some very disingenuous criticism from former midfield colleagues of his. That
any two in particular?
Well, one that we
Anderson.
chant his name every week, but only to compare him to Carrick.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they seem to think, and Roy Keane made a ridiculous comparison with the situation around when we signed Wayne Rooney of, you make someone available. When United went to Everton to sign Wayne Rooney, Everton didn't say, "Oh yeah, he's available, you can have him." They said, "No, we're not selling him," and United found a fee and they made a deal happen.
Is that true?
Well, they won't. They will have dragged their feet to extract as much value, but United had the might to make that deal happen and get whatever player they wanted.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a valid comparison to extracting a manager from PSG. I think the financial landscape between United and Everton in 2004 and United and PSG now aren't really the same.
No, we're the Everton in this scenario. PSG could do that to United probably right now.
Yeah, and that's difficult for some people who were involved in the club then to accept.
And PSG were probably bottom half of the league around that time.
Yeah, so. Was that before Ronaldinho was there?
He would have been there probably around a similar time.
Yeah, but they weren't good. An elite club. But I think it's disingenuous to suggest that United can go and extract any manager they want.
Yeah, and there aren't that many managers
that we would
want. Even that, it's not like there are these managers we would love to have any of these, but they're all employed. There's one of them, and that's Luis Enrique.
Yeah, there's a couple of maybes in Tuchel and Nagelsmann.
Yeah, there's national team managers who I think we could get if we wanted. We could get them after the World Cup. We could use our might, and they would come.
Yeah,
but we're not sure if we want them.
Yeah, and then there's the free agents or the sort of the eminently gettable managers.
Yeah,
who are maybe better than Carrick, but maybe not.
Yeah,
and would cost money. And
Carrick's already here and already worked with the squad.
Yeah,
and got a good job out of them.
People don't put enough weight on. I think you could tell, or certainly people who are more attuned to football than we are, or more in the room, maybe the media, the players, higher ups at the club, could probably tell after 20 games that Amorim was probably a bit overawed by the job. And those same people can probably tell that Carrick isn't.
No.
And any manager who comes from a smaller club can completely freeze and start making decisions that they would never have made at the smaller club.
Yeah.
And you can't just say, well, people love to do it with formations and people love to do it with signings and say, Iraola comes to United, who is the equivalent of Alex Scott in the United squad. Maybe we bring Alex Scott with him.
Yeah.
It just doesn't work like that. And having managed a decent chunk of games, it's not 5 games. He's played basically every team in the league. He's beaten basically all of them.
Yeah.
He's got more than enough to say it probably won't be a disaster. Whereas I think every manager from a smaller club, you can't say it probably. You say
not after Amorim.
Hopefully, it won't be a disaster.
Yeah, but there's always a possibility.
It could always be a disaster.
Should we be aiming for the manager with the least possibility of disaster or the most possibility of extreme success? Is it not a bit?
It's a very good point. I think, given the financial state of the club and the state of the squad, I think we can afford to not have the best manager in the world.
Yeah.
Much as Senna Lamans.
Yeah.
Catches a lot of the balls and saves a lot of the shots and has weaknesses and occasionally kicks it to the opposition striker. Sometimes Carrick waits too long in games to make his subs, and sometimes he is, picks the wrong starting 11 and maybe doesn't have the right pressing structure in coaching. But where we are as a club, just having a normal bloke who's going to pick normal teams and does the right thing enough of the time, it's probably fine for at least the next year.
At least now, yeah.
At least the next season.
We're not saying give him a 5-year contract. We're not saying get the contract out, let him write whatever numbers he wants on it.
Yeah, because even Luis Enrique could come in and it
could fail at the Premier League.
Yeah.
It's unlikely,
but
it could happen. I think Luis Enrique is basically where Pep was before he went to City.
Yeah,
and I think it was very unlikely that Guardiola failed, but there was a possibility that a manager who's never managed in the Premier League might struggle.
Yeah, I think the 3 clubs who have built from a sort of not a failing position, but not a position they want to be, into a much stronger position So there's the 3 Bs that everyone talks about in the Premier League, Brighton, Bournemouth, Brentford, who have these advanced models, these statistical tools that they can constantly beat the market in signings.
And managers.
And that has allowed them as a club to progress a long way. The 3 examples that are outside of those, of clubs that have started in one place and ended much higher up, are Pep's City, Emery's Villa, and Enrique's PSG. And what you do is you get the best manager you can possibly get, and you let them make all the decisions, basically.
Yeah.
And I don't see a manager who United can do that with this summer.
No.
I think Luis Enrique is the one. We can't get him. I think they've probably asked, and they're
probably just in case.
Yeah.
Just wondering.
If he goes to Chelsea this summer, then that's egg on our face.
Yeah, but I can't see him leaving PSG for any club.
Without one of the best managers in the world, I think you just need a bloke
a competent manager.
Yeah, and Brighton have proved it that you can swap out the manager for another competent bloke, and you'll probably be fine. Bournemouth, I imagine, will do the same with Iraola leaving and Rose going in.
Yeah.
Brentford have proven they lost Frank and basically
they lost all of their staff apart from their set piece coach, gave him the job, and they got better.
I think I don't think we're not able to do the model that City, PSG, and Villa have done.
No.
Some people would say, well, you could do that with Emery again.
Yeah.
But I think Emery's maybe not at that elite level, as he showed at Arsenal. And he's probably a better manager now than he was when he was at Arsenal.
Yeah, and he's probably a better manager than Michael Carrick.
Yeah, but he would, again, be very expensive to get out of Villa and might not be that at the sort of level above Michael Carrick.
I think he's at a level where Villa can afford to let him make all the decisions.
Yeah.
But United can't.
And also, they do sign some rubbish players.
They do.
They've made the mistake of signing Daniel Marlon, who...
Daniel Marlon's not rubbish.
He is rubbish.
He's not rubbish. He's good. Strange that they sold him.
Who else was... They've made some dodgy signings. And they're, United are recalibrating a little bit, I think, at the moment. And we don't know what's going to happen with the ownership. We don't know what's going to happen with the stadium. Making a big, expensive gamble is probably not what the club should do.
Yeah. I think that's right.
Also, I really like Michael Carrick.
Yeah, me too. I'm happy for him to stay, certainly for a bit. Speaking of managerial disasters that could end in absolute failure, but there's also a possibility of extreme success. Mourinho looks increasingly likely of being the Real Madrid manager next season. I don't know how he's managed that, but...
Well, Perez loves him. Perez is king, and Perez thinks, you know what these louts need is a good wrap around the ear.
Yeah.
And the one man to do it is the man who defended a player who homophobically abused one of our players earlier in the season.
Yeah.
It's a risk.
It is a risk, but maybe wants him to get rid of Vinicius because he's
possibly
causing all the issues in the dressing room. I don't know. I just thought it was I was asking about should we be going for the manager with the least chance of disaster. That's certainly not Real Madrid.
No.
What Real Madrid have done. How long are we on here? Do we want to go around the grounds briefly, or
that's an hour and 40 minutes?
Well, that's probably our lot. Do we need to stick our oar in about this Arsenal VAR decision?
It's weird, isn't it? I said to you, I think it's like that it's been scripted to be the most frustrating title win that I want to happen. I want Arsenal to win the league. Barely.
Yeah.
And they're going about it in the most annoying way possible.
But isn't that what you want?
Yeah, but
you don't want them to run away with the league and be by far the best team in the country.
But
it's funny that they're just scraping the league.
Yeah.
If that.
Yeah, they're just it was a foul.
It was. I don't think that can be argued. No. Some people are trying to argue I think if you're just talking about whether that was a foul on Raya, I think that is open and shut case. It was.
I think it's just prompted. It's just made the issue of everyone hates Arsenal rear its head again.
Yeah.
And Arsenal fans will incredulously decry why are we the hated team in this title race? Why aren't City?
Yeah.
And it's because people are used to hating City and they're sort of over it.
Yeah, and Arsenal do bring it on themselves.
Yeah.
They're very easy to hate.
The fact that it's the incident that has sparked all of this being a foul on a goalkeeper from a corner, which Arsenal have very carefully trodded that line and pushed that line this season. And Peter Schmeichel was saying that's how Arsenal have scored all their goals is from fouls on the keeper. But they've never quite done it as bad as Pablo does it.
Yeah, that was an obvious one. Yeah, there've been a couple of standing in front of the keeper, maybe having a little grab at his arm or something, but he's got his arm right across him, holding him down away from the ball. Yeah,
and Arsenal, when they are attacking corners, are very physical because the worst case that happens is can't give away a penalty. When they're defending corners, they're generally a bit less grapply. They were I think they were mentally in a place where they were like, we just have to. And if you look at the sort of the slow motion wide shot of it, there's every incident is one player fouling another and the other player trying to foul them back. There's like 4 different grapples where if either of them are doing enough to be giving a foul.
Yeah.
The ball goes towards one of them and it's the keeper, so there's a bit more. If that was a player going up for a header and you had your arm across his arms, then he's never getting given. It's
Yeah.
The keeper has a little bit more protection, and it's just the other side of that line that Arsenal are always very careful not to cross.
Yeah, and there's people saying that Mavropanos is being fouled as well by Rice, and Pablo's being fouled by Trossard.
Yeah,
but I don't think either of them have committed enough of a foul by the time Pablo's committed an obvious foul on Raya. Yeah. So you obviously have to go with the first foul that's committed. And also, Jared Bowen said, well, we saw Souček away at Brentford last week being held, and that wasn't given a penalty. So where's the consistency? But that is consistency, because those penalties weren't given in this game either.
Yeah.
It was a foul on the keeper, which has always been a slightly different threshold.
Yeah.
So, I've come round to hating VAR just as much as anyone else, but I don't think they really got the wrong decision. And I saw Henry Winter's tweet about it before I saw it, and I thought it was going to be some scandalous decision, but I think it was probably the right decision.
Yeah, people don't like league titles decided by referees.
But it would be decided by a referee if he didn't give it.
But if there was no VAR, it would have been. I don't think there's a famous league title in like '76, I think, where the referee got a decision wrong and the league went to the wrong team. I should have looked at what that was. Yeah. But, I don't think it's that. It's that scenario is zoomed in so much because of VAR.
Yeah.
I think if this was a regular refereeing performance and he doesn't give that foul, I don't think everyone's saying that has cost Arsenal the league. That's giving that
clear foul. Yeah.
That's a clear foul. The referee has to give that, but he's got that massively wrong and cost us the league. I don't think that's the discussion. I think the discussion is probably Raya should just punch it. Raya should clear out his box. Arsenal should defend better. Arsenal should have tried scoring a second or third goal. But because of VAR, everything is so zoomed in. It's literally zoomed in. It's a camera. They zoomed in to get, and it is a foul, and so it is VAR deciding a league, and it's
we'll see, but
so far, and I think it is reasonable to not enjoy that.
Yeah, I get that. I saw a United fan replying to West Ham fans with a clip, a really grainy black and white clip of a West Ham player handballing it in the box against United in 1995 when we drew away at West Ham on the last day of the season and didn't win the league because of it. Basically calling them all hypocrites because, that was one of your players 31 years ago and it cost us the league.
Yeah.
No VAR in them days, of course.
No, and this is, we do talk about VAR too much, but
we managed to avoid it for the first few months of doing this podcast, but it does conquer all.
The old adage was it works itself out over the course of the season, and then football decided that wasn't that's not a reliable enough mechanism. We have to get the number of errors down, and the way to do that isn't with better training and better qualified referees and more incentives to referees. It's to allow situations to be re-refereed and to take much longer over decisions. And when the accuracy hasn't gone up, but the experience is much worse, everyone thinks, what is the point?
Yeah. And now we're still saying the VAR decisions even themselves out over the course of the season.
Yeah. We've not moved any closer to
refereeing perfection.
Refereeing being right more of the time.
No.
We may, however, have our first strongly anti-VAR Prime Minister soon, if rumours are to be believed. So maybe we'll see some legislation in that direction. Right. I think if Andy Burnham were to say, I will scrap VAR, then he would become Prime Minister without any friction.
Yeah.
Because everyone was tweeting about the Labour, leadership furore, and Andy Burnham was retweeting people slagging off VAR.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens. Yes. Watch this space. Well, I mean, if you're watching this space to find out who the Prime Minister is, then something else has gone wrong.
Yeah. Well then, okay. Well, I'll hold you to that. That Andy Burnham will be Prime Minister and get rid of VAR. That's what you're saying.
That's what I said, yeah.
All right. Well, a slightly different episode today with a bit of a squad audit, and we had to talk about the big headline of the weekend.
Yes.
Being Arsenal's controversial win. But I think it was another belter.
Oh, I agree.
Only 3 games left now. No, 2 games left.
2 games left.
Our last trip to Old Trafford of the season on Sunday.
We've not decided who's going yet. We've got 3 tickets, and Dad can't go.
I thought we had 4 tickets. Oh, we've got 3 tickets. Yeah,
it'd be rude to take the one off Kieran.
Yeah. Yeah, listener Kieran, it would be very rude to take his ticket off him. So we won't do that, but I think we'll both be at Old Trafford.
We'll both be there.
So that will be our last one for a while. Not many episodes of this left till the end of the season. I'm sure we'll carry on in some capacity.
We'll keep our hand in.
Yeah.
A bit of pre-season training.
Yes, indeed. Maybe some
friendlies.
Yeah.
I don't mean talk about the friendlies.
We'll have some friendly episodes.
Yeah, I meant a sort of metaphorical friendly that we arrange to simulate.
Yeah, with an opponent that is, somewhat other than talking about United.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
The world is our oyster.
It is. Well, thanks everyone for listening. Hope you enjoyed this squad audit. And I hope you appreciate the fact that we didn't talk about the Sunderland game for too long, because most of you have watched it, so that's torture enough. Thank you all for listening. Make sure you're following us on social media, where there will be a new clip. It's been a few months, but there will be a clip out this week. So, they're not for you guys. You've already heard it. I'm possibly seeing it. But if you do follow us on social media, something will come up this week. So I hope you enjoy that again. Yes, please do. And a comment if you don't mind. Anyway, thank you for listening. We will see you out there.